Hi, the next part of this, so we're going to carry on with it. It's now a couple of quick examples to give you the best grip possible on this invaluable set of perspectives. If you've ever been out of your neighbourhood and gotten hungry, it's likely that you've had the experience of ordering from an unfamiliar restaurant. You observe the menu, you think about what you would like, and then you order and eat your meal. 3 steps: observe, think, order. You don't eat, order, think about what you want, and then look at the menu. That would be illogical. Grammar is a definitions or knowledge of what's on the menu. Logic is a process of thinking, comparing what you like to the menu, and assuring you don't eat a contradiction to what brings you satisfaction. Rhetoric is a process of ordering and eating the meal. It seems that almost every television channel has a police crime scene investigation show, and yet, ironically, too few in this world can actually recognise, investigate and solve any of the myriad of mega crimes and grand theft world. Ongoing in these shows, the grammar, logic and rhetoric process is a repetitive theme, the system or method by which crimes are solved. First, there is an awareness and definition of the crime scene, which then goes back to the lab to think through the evidence and identify and remove contradictions, whereby the connection to the criminal having been made, the arrest can take place. Grammar, logic, rhetoric, a wheel of power which the helmsman used to steer the rest of us through life. This is the essence of how to start to instantly introduce equilibrium into the world, one free mind at a time. Lastly, if you haven't gotten the hang of it yet, one more example. Everyone here has purchased a product which comes with an instruction manual. Every single instruction manual with integrity uses the grammar, logic and rhetoric process, or the Trivium method, to communicate the value of the concept, idea or product, etc. The individual parts are always first defined and usually illustrated. This is the general grammar of the product. Next, the manual will show you how all the parts fit together, illustrating how the knowledge or the individual parts interconnect, which produces your understanding, thus allowing successful assembly. This is the logic of the product manual. Lastly, the instruction manual articulates how to properly use and troubleshoot the product, and this is the rhetoric. Picture a circle divided into 3 equal parts. These 3 roads, grammar, logic and rhetoric, when used in that specific order, repetitively with active learning engaged, produces ever-increasing degrees of certainty. If you rotate this circle and progress it horizontally, it creates a line of repeating steps: grammar, logic, rhetoric, etc. And this is a comprehensive decision-making process. It is the process used to deceive all of us, to lock our own minds early in life, as being deprived of the simple natural reflection of the human learning process. We accept whatever feels emotionally pleasant as truth, and that does not compute if you'll excuse the irony. Critical thinking cannot be effectively taught in a curriculum, as it is a skill which results from the process of thinking and learning, and is driven by the grammar, logic and rhetoric cycle of observation, thought and action. The purpose of grammar is to bring initial and consistent order to a body of knowledge. The purpose of logic is to extract understanding from the body of knowledge. Rhetoric is the cogent explanation of that body of knowledge. If done effectively, this is known as teaching. When one realises that they desire to change their environment, either as recognition of a problem or the inspiration of a new creation or improvement, the learning process is necessary. This is why this use of our 5 senses, produced by the Trivium and integrated into our comprehension via the Quadrivium, is embodied in the famous 5-3-4 triangle of Pythagoras. One of the requirements to enter Plato's academy was knowledge of geometry, which refers to Pythagoras, and the fact that if you don't know how to learn anything for yourself by asking substantial questions and obtaining valid answers, you cannot possibly contribute or benefit to a school which operates on the prerequisite of autonomy or self-governance. In ancient times, students were taught the Trivium at home by their parents as a prerequisite for admission into universities. Now, you know why the secret societies, including the Brothers, Masons and Illuminati, conceal their secret from the public? Because any single individual who understands what I'm saying, or can learn to understand what I'm saying, is now impervious to the control system. This learning process is a vaccination of information, inoculating you from predatory forces on this plane, specifically from those who use knowledge of how your mind works to undermine your thoughts, feelings and actions. The hope exists in the simple fact that you can hear me, that you can work to grasp my meaning, and that with a little thinking we can all begin to reflect the change we wish to see in the world, and thereby make this convergence of will a success, long into the future. Problems cannot be solved at the same level of consciousness which created them. AE. Whatever AE, I don't know what that means. AE. Where learning exists, therein is proof of God. Well, I'm not religious. I don't believe in anything like that, God or Bible or all like that. I'm not religious. Never have been. I've never subscribed to any mainstream religion. Is the earth created? Yes, most definitely. Is it a creation that we're living in? Yes, most definitely. Is there a God? I don't know who created it. I don't know who he is. Could be anybody. And if we define God as learning, that statement would then be true. If one equated the concept of God to the process of learning, one would note that in places where learning is stifled, it is as if God has abandoned the area and conflict festers as more and more information is censored. On the contrary, where people are engaged in kinetic learning coupled with constructive action and compassionate communication, it is as if God is manifesting through the actions of human beings. Like I said, I'm not religious, I never have been. So, indeed, there is a connection between the concepts of energy, nature, learning, freedom, love and God, but that is the destination of your own journey of understanding, and I will not attempt to deny you that priceless experience of self-recognition. Rather, I am here to fan the flame of curiosity, to help ensure you reach your destination sooner rather than later. Part 3, Closing. Would you like to know more? Then allow me to share the highlights of the journey of knowledge which led me to share the wisdom of this lesson. And here's just some things you can go and look at. Jan Irvin's interviews with Gene Odening, episodes 49, 50 and 51. TriviumEducation.com, Peace Revolution episodes 1, 2, 3, etc. An entire podcast dedicated to a comprehensive of full spectrum education. Tragedy and Hope online community, Trivium study group, Introduction to Logic study group, upcoming philosophical corruption of physics study group, and What You Have Been Missing episodes 1 and 2. Literacy is a form of slavery until a systematic form of critical thinking is practiced by the reader. Now you have been informed of the existence of this process and have been provided with the coordinates of where to locate more knowledge on these topics, and this is where I invite you to participate with thousands of people all over the world by reviewing our podcasts, screening our films, and sharpening your intellectual self-defense skills in our online communities. I don't recognise any of this stuff. I mean, I've not looked into any of this stuff yet, so I don't know. I can't tell you if it's accurate or not, if it's good enough or not. I don't know, but I'm just reading what's here. I don't represent any of this stuff, any of these communities here or anything else, and they don't represent me. I don't represent them. It was my responsibility to provide you with the information which you could, upon leaving, use to your advantage, and that's what makes it valuable. If this lesson taught you nothing, you have been entertained, not informed. I encourage you to familiarise yourself with the concepts unfolded today, and do some serious thinking on your own. And therein you'll realise that you too can learn to use a superpower innate in all of us. The proof exists, as if it weren't possible for any one of us to change the game, then billions of dollars would not be invested into dumbing down the population of this plane. The future is a function of your decisions. When you learn to choose wisely, every decision becomes a rewarding experience. And I'm going to do this bit in the next video. A bit about the Trivium, the Quadrivium. This is the next video. Okay, thanks for listening to this. I'm going to upload another one in a minute. Okay, thanks, bye.